social area.
Social area. It's social. I mean, we could literally have like a 20-minute conversation with everybody in the audience and still have 10 minutes left.
I think so.
It's very social. But yeah, no, it's fun. This is like the second half. So when did we first record, Steve? I can't even remember.
That was Thursday afternoon?
Right, Thursday afternoon. So basically nothing had happened.
Not yet.
And then everything happened. And then now we're having this episode.
Yeah.
And then well, it's the second half, right? So we're gonna put in all that cool, you know, the room sales, all the crazy Java proofs and stuff, which we might talk to Jason about later, but he's willing to. He's in the audience.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and then now we're here. I kind of had a late night, Steve.
You had a very late night.
I'm known for my temperance and my restraint in general, but when our friend Ollie from France brought you that pastis,
Yep, we figured we had to crack it open last night.
that was a little, that's a troublesome drink for me. So
Yeah.
I wound up like asking all these 501 troopers, like, what do you guys talk about?
You got some interesting answers though.
Yeah. The best answer we got was this one guy goes, it's just about the wars.
It's all about the wars, man.
I like that answer, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been everything. So we're just going to cover all that now. Hopefully we're going to have some guests, some people showing up and talking. If not, we'll just turn the microphone on our parsimonious audience.
Yes.
But Steve, where should we start? Because I'm not hungover, I'm just tired. And
I'd say the big thing that happened Thursday for us was the archive party.
Woo!
Yeah.
I was pretending like that was someone from the audience.
Yeah,
I was actually just
getting the.
Yes, the archive party happened. It was, I mean, I had expectations. Most of them were bad, because I'm a pessimist at heart. But it definitely went beyond, even if I had good expectations, it went beyond.
Even though we lost a ceiling panel at one point, we didn't have change for any of the games.
Yeah.
A lot of things that definitely had me running around like a headless chicken. But,
like right before the show would start, I would just start like doing these laps.
Yep.
I would start at the podium and then I would walk around like 3 tables and then walk back to the podium.
We'd run into each other. Like, what's going on?
I'd like pick up a Sharpie and then I'd put it down and then walk around and pick it up again.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've been that nervous for anything like since I had to defend my thesis.
No, that's a big deal. For me, it was like running the old haunted house that we used to do. By the end, you were completely tired, but you knew you made a lot of people happy. So.
Yeah. And so the crazy thing about the parties, first of all, how much money did we raise for the manatee?
Overall, or are we going first?
Overall.
Overall, $3,000.
Yay! That's the actual audience.
Go, man.
So we raised $3,000 for the manatee.
Yep.
And I even had, I forget his name. His name was Campbell. It was Campbell from. He's from the Orlando area.
Okay.
And he said, you know, we really appreciate that you actually are supporting a local charity. So
it couldn't have worked out better in that sense.
And it was a really great party. We had a name tag, which was helpful.
Oh, good.
I had this idea, Steve, for a new society.
Okay.
Good. That's a bad way. That's a bad way to start a sentence.
We're going on a tangent here, guys.
A lot of historical things are ended that way. But what if it was that the only polite thing to do when you meet somebody is say your name as you leave? So normally you have to do that thing like, you know, business guys do, where they shake your hand, they say, you know, and then as they leave, they say, thank you so much for talking to me, Sky. And it feels a little bit awkward.
Right,
What if the way you said goodbye was like, you know, hi, I'm Sky, how's it going? Nice to meet you, Steve. Anyways, I'm going to catch you later, Sky.
It's not like a sign-off.
Wouldn't that be a good idea?
Yeah, it could work at least. Because I'm terrible with like remembering names. So if I had that little reminder every time I ended a conversation.
And I'm not good at remembering names, and I'm hanging out with Tommy, and he's even worse than I am, so. Anyways, but Campbell had a name tag, so that's why I remember.
Good deal.
So looping around.
Yes. Get back on. We got an hour here. We're doing all right.
Yeah, the more diversions I have, the better.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, the best thing was the amount of money raised at the party itself.
Yeah, so we took in cash. Now, most people didn't think that we could charge money to play the ridiculous games that we came up with.
Yeah.
So we had the rocket firing Boba Fett, which was manned by
Sean Campbell.
Sean Campbell, and it was designed by John Peck.
Yep.
And you'd like shoot a repro rocket firing Fett and shoot the little rocket into a Sarlacc pit.
Or as I saw a photo evidence of, he tried to take out the B-wing pilot in the skip guard.
Yeah.
So.
There's also a B-wing pilot skip guard. When I played it, I just went for that. I'm always so jealous. You steal the limelight from me. But then there was the headman, the pin, the shield, and the headman.
That went over really well.
They went over well, but only because of Yehuda.
Yeah, Yehuda really took the Carney role and just ran with it. He loved it.
You know, like Yehuda's the kind of name where you think it means something in another language.
Right.
And I think it means like the carnival barker in some other language because he was unbelievable.
Yeah, he did really great.
And then the Pinata, which we had Will Grief on, it was jam-packed.
Yeah,
I couldn't
believe it.
All these cool bootlegs donated by, I think, a couple of people here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Mexican Chewy.
Yeah, Mexican Chewy, and he donated and everything. And so it was, people really got a kick out of that.
Yeah, every couple minutes there'd just be a big rush of oohs and ahs from that end of the room. I'm like, what's going on over there? I hope no one's hurt.
Yeah, I feel like I saw nothing. And then finally we raised money through raffles.
Right.
And so you have to imagine me, I had to take a whole afternoon of the convention off just to bookkeep and figure out how I have to pay the caterers and how I have to, what money goes to the manatee and all that stuff. And so I was counting the cash from all these games. And as I counted it up, I counted $700 and I put it to the side. I was pretty happy. And then I counted up the rest of the kind of bigger bills, and I wound up being another 400. And then I started counting the ones. And I got to 38. And if you're doing the math at home, maybe you figured this out. I didn't figure it out at this point. So I was like, all right, that's 700 plus 400. I thought for a second, it's 1,100. And that's $38. It's $1,138 precisely.
Yeah, when you called me, it took me a second. I'm like, wait, what?
I don't know. It's just one of those crazy things.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's very fortuitous. The main question that we were asked was, are you guys going to do this again? And I think the answer is yes. Now that we've shown that we can do it, it should be easier to do it again next time.
I think so.
Get more help, and it was just amazing. The sponsors, these coins. I'm holding one right now for those of you that aren't the 6 people in front of us. Oh, 7. Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
They just came out so well. The card backs, it's joy beyond my wildest imagination. But of course, the party ended most raucously. The very beginning of this whole thing, the first time, I think, for those of you who go back and listen to our shows from the beginning, please send us an email the first time we talked about the party.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure the first thing we said was C-3PO's eating contest.
That's right. Yeah, that was the thing that started it all.
And it was a terrible idea then. It's a terrible idea now, but it wound up being quite amazing.
The hit of the night.
The
Yeah.
hit of the night. I made the sign-up sheet. Hopefully, include a scan of that in the show notes.
Yeah, you kept that.
Yeah.
We're good.
Oh yeah, I kept that. And I wrote your name in for you.
Yes, for the first hour or so, I was the only one on the list. I thought it was just going to be a sacrifice in front of the masses, which I was happy to do. But luckily, we got a few other people to sign up.
Yeah, I had the same image of me carrying his body out of the party, like when Batman carries out Robin when he's dead. Right? Remember that image? You killed my boy. So he was the only one signed up. Hey, we got one.
Yeah, we're coming in. All right.
Awesome. And so we had 5 people in the end signed up.
Yep.
And the crazy thing was, Steve, they were all somehow related to me.
Yes. You had a stake in all of
I
us.
just think I wanted every one of you to win. There was you, the co-host. There was Tommy and Jeff Carell, who were my roommates. And then there was Brad P, who's my fellow Chewbacca boy.
Yep.
So I couldn't quite tell. And the only way we got these other people to go in was we added this extra prize, which was the C-3PO standing.
Yeah, no, that's a good incentive.
Yeah, that made the incentive. It was funny because Gus and I were trying to figure out what's the prize going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's standing right behind me. I'm like, I guess we could give them another shirt, but they get shirts or something else. It has to be something really special, like my hand on the standee while talking about it. And 20 minutes later, that's what we decided.
Yep.
Thanks to Andy from the Toy Cave.
Good deal.
For giving us a very good deal on that.
Oh, right on.
And so Steve, tell them how much you won.
I won nothing.
You did not win the contest.
I was way too civilized eating my cereal. I looked over and Jeff Carell was literally throwing the cereal in his face.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think I'm going to bow out and I'm going to keep eating.
And I couldn't even watch it.
I was cheering for people next to me as I was eating. It was awesome.
It sounded but magnanimous.
Right.
I couldn't watch because I was fairly certain there's going to be some kind of alien thing of someone grabbing their stomach and convulsing, foam coming out of it.
I will admit, like maybe an hour afterward, I did get a bit of a pain in my stomach. I think it's probably because that's all I eat all day, just 3POs, and then drink some beer and all that. So but it all worked out. I'm alive, I'm here, and so is everyone else.
Yep. So I'd say it worked out. I think that's the beginning of a new tradition.
Yes.
Just don't put me in charge of so much next time, because I should be in charge of a couple things, but like sending out passes, that's a bad one. But I only had 3 mess ups.
Hey, it's not bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah. All right.
So what's next on the docket? Is there anything that we forgot about the party that the audience wants to say about the party?
Do you remember the pinata?
Yeah, you mentioned the piano, but we did not mention the panel breaking. Someone hit it with such force, with such wild passion, that it jumped up and broke down one of the roof panels.
Yeah.
And we were afraid we were going to do it. But Steve actually already brought up the next picture.
Yes.
Which was the next thing that I did, which is the second most nervous I've been since my thesis.
You were definitely shaking a bit.
So, for those of you who can't see the picture on the podcast here, I had this idea, a couple of years ago I did that video where I donated my hair to Locks of Love. And I thought, well, I'm a Chewbacca collector, and wouldn't that be funny to show all my stuff and say, oh, I'm so kooky, and I kind of handed up with the camera, and I thought it'd be a good charity, I have a pretty good family friend whose kid got cancer. I just, what can you do but anything? And so that was my minimal thing that I did. And it got some good response. It was on the official Star Wars blog. My hair was getting long again, and my wife was like, you gotta trim it, it's all dead at the end. Isn't all hair dead? But yes. And so I thought about it, and then I always have to make it a big deal when I get a haircut. So I started emailing Angie Mayhew, who's Peter Mayhew's wife. And I know that they have a bunch of foundations, they do things for lots of charities, and I thought, what would be a better way of publicizing a haircut than having Chewbacca himself cut your hair?
No.
And so I emailed him once and didn't get a response, and again, and didn't get anything. And then about a week before celebration, I got a response from Angie Mayhew saying, Peter, we'd love to do it, come by and meet. And so that second that happened, I was so nervous. I was so nervous because if it didn't happen, it would have been one of the most disappointing moments of my life,
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it was a dream, but once I had the idea, it was like I had always wanted to do that, So he said he would. How would you describe the event, Steve? Because I was like in a fugue state.
I think, I'm surprised you can actually recall this much of it so far.
I see the picture Steve put up, and I don't remember looking that uncomfortable. I thought I was having a great time. I thought I was smiling.
You were smiling even when your hair was really getting pulled and cut off. It looked very painful, but you kept a smile on your face the whole time.
Yeah, I tried my best. Well, the cool thing is Brian Stillman, the guy and his assistant Carl Tate, I have to mention him.
Yep.
He helps out at the time.
Yes.
They're making the Plastic Galaxy movie.
Right.
And so I thought, well, he's got a good camera. Why doesn't he film it? So the video won't come out for a while because he has all this HD and I'm all mic'd up and it's all professional. But
it looked like it was going to turn out great just from what I was seeing. So
it's going to be better than this little picture that you see here.
But I do love this. I was in charge of holding the light for Brian's camera. So right before that, I just snapped this one picture, and to me it looks like a painting of some kind.
It really does. It looks like I'm like being baptized or something.
Yeah. There's some kind of ceremony going on. I'm not sure, but it was a good call going with the Death Star set.
Yeah, it wound up being a Death Star set because it was for another charity event. And the only thing is, Steve, I learned something about cutting hair.
You want to use hair cutting scissors.
It turns out there are scissors made for haircutting. They aren't the same scissors you've been using to cut up stickers all day. So poor Mr. Mayhew, I was working on he was like yanking my hair. He was like, these scissors are good for nothing. I felt so bad, he's not that comfortable, being in front of all these lights and all these pictures. He's got these huge hands and these tiny scissors. His wife wound up helping, his assistant wound up helping, but at the end of the day, Steve, I got my hair cut.
You did.
By Chewbacca.
Yeah.
So that was fun because I got to go up to the other Chewbacca collectors and say, look, you want to buy this? This hair? Hand-cut hair by Chewbacca?
Yep. This was pretty awesome to see happen.
Nothing like it. So those are like those are two of the more exciting things that have happened in the last couple of years. Probably since the birth of my daughter.
Oh.
And even that was like easier to anticipate what was going to happen.
Yeah, this was definitely an up in the air kind of thing, but it worked.
There's been a ton of news, Steve, huh?
Yes. Well, I figured what we could do next is maybe show a couple of favorite things that we picked up.
Yeah. So it's been a really, we picked up a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, and this isn't just to say about us, right? Hopefully we're going to be able to turn the
Get everyone
microphone
up
around
here, yeah.
and ask you guys if you have time. But it's more just, we did this at C5 too, just like what is a typical convention for two vintage collectors of reasonable means.
Right?
Not like, whoa, and not like, whoa.
It's in between the two woes.
Yeah, I think I may have lost my way of words, Steve.
No, this picture, you'll see, we'll put it on the show, but this guy picked up these really great French masks, and this, I'm going to call it Mount Jumor, I guess.
Yes.
But,
So if you use the unenhanced version or whatever, Todd Chamberlain from the Toy Chamber, toychamber.com, or is it toychamber.com? Anybody? I think it's just toychamber.com.
yeah.
Every once in a while, he has everything. He's the guy, you always got to go there first, because he has the craziest, if you're a focus collector especially, you got to go to him, because he'll just find stuff you've never heard of or ever seen.
Yep.
So he was like, oh, Sky, I got some masks if you're interested. And I'd never seen them before, never heard of them. And there's two French ones from the Star Wars era and one Mexican from Empire Strikes Back. And that's the really pale one.
Okay, that's the
I like
one in the
him
middle.
because it really looks like those are pupils.
It does. Yeah.
So those are just great because eventually when I get more space, I get to display all the masks. And they're so different. They're all licensed. You know, they're all licensed by different official makers of toys.
Yeah. Well, they turned out good, and the pictures are great. And then I guess this kind of ties into another event that happened on Friday. There was the first swap meet.
Yeah, there's a swap meet right here in this room. What did you think of this, Steve, honestly?
It was, I mean, obviously very popular. There was a ton of people in here.
Yep.
But, it's interesting because it's supposed to kind of combine with the collector's social, which is more of a relaxed hangout, kind of, hey, how are you? I'm so-and-so.
Right.
What do you collect? And then there was just the madness of a room sale all combined into one thing.
Right.
So you had a bunch of collectors that I'd never met before, seen before, and a bunch of stuff, and then you'd see someone here or there you might know, and it was kind of chaotic, but I mean, at least it drew people in. That's all I can say.
Yeah, like it was called a swap meet. I would
Right.
call it like a trade meet. Like they traded the sort of intimacy and conversation for more people and more inclusion. So I would say like in a lot of ways, like our party wound up being the social.
The social, yeah.
You had to pay for it, but not much considering what you got.
Yeah.
Cheap bastards. but no, that was our fault for pricing. No, we priced it just right, Steve, because we sold out exactly 200 tickets. We wound up allowing more people because the person at the door was taking tickets or drunk. But it was good, more money for the manatee. That's how we got up to $1,138.
Yeah.
But while we were walking through the con, Steve's the great B-Wing collector. He hates it when I say this, but he's of course the #1 B-Wing collector on planet Earth. There's nobody even in competition. You know what I'm saying?
Probably not.
It's like you're the #1 Stephen B. Danley in your house. You know what I mean? Like, that's how much you're the #1 B-Wing collector. But Hamilton came out with these plates. You know, like when you watch TV and they're like, we're proud to present to you these limited edition plates. They're guaranteed to be worth $3,000 in 5 years.
Like on the Home Shopping Network.
Yeah, Home Shopping
stuff,
Network. And so there's one that's just the B-Wing.
Yep.
And so we saw it at the what do we call it?
There's a couple different monikers.
There's a seller who we call the Cat Lady, the Crow Lady, the Crazy Lady,
And the Pterodactyl.
And the Pterodactyl. But she had these plates for sale, and Steve, what did you say about it?
Well, I saw that they were $25, but they had the image from the B-Wing pilot card art, which I have, and so I saw that, it's the exact same image, and I was tempted, and I saw they were made in 1995, and that they had a lot of numbers on them. Like it was number 1941 of however many.
Like 20,000.
Yeah, something like that. And I ended up passing in the dealer hall.
Yep. Much to my chagrin.
Yeah, you were not happy.
Like as a Chewbacca collector, I'm exhausted by all the stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
Steve sees one thing. It's like, it's exactly what I collect, but So at the swap meet, there's a lady who had all these out there, and actually Jared helped me talk her down because I felt bad like trying to talk someone down. So yeah, he found it.
Okay.
He was texting me. I'm like, wait, Jared, wait. And so we went, and he was able to get her down to $10. Awesome. Her response was great. She's like, the B-wing? No one ever asks for the B-wing. So
More for me.
I think we could have got it for $5. You know?
Maybe.
Like her giving us $5.
Right.
But so that was a very meaningful gift. And
Yeah.
see, you are going to eat off it, aren't you?
If that's cool with you, I think
Absolutely.
you have your Emperor mug. I might have to eat snacks off the B-wing plate.
That's it. I mean, that's part of what the party was about. But I'd like it to be in the future too. Is really having fun using vintage stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's only worth what it's worth.
Yeah.
And if it's worth more to you to use it, then why not destroy its value to have it actually be of use? You know?
Who knows? Maybe
That
this
makes
will
sense.
actually increase
Audience, was
value.
that just too sky dribble, or was that cohesive?
I think it has lead paint in it, so you might want to.
Good call, Tommy. He just mentioned that we have lead paint on this thing. I'll wrap it in plastic. And
Or you could laminate it.
oh, yeah, I can laminate it. That would work too. But I guess anything else before we hit the market?
No, it sounds good. I think so. The market watch is going to be in two. We're going to sort of let you do the work for the normal market watch.
Right.
Our amazing market watchers, Fantastic Pete.
Yep.
That's his official nickname.
Fratastic. Yeah, it was his original frat name back in the day.
Yep, he was called Fantastic. And Brisbane Michael.
Which I love that he actually called himself on the blog. That's his name.
That's his name. He calls himself Brisbane.
Yeah, Brisbane. Yeah. But luckily now they've made a dual market watch with 2 columns for the general stuff and
Right.
the figure of the month. It looks great.
And so you can go there and you can see what's happened in the last month, but we're going to have a different kind of market watch because we're actually at the convention.
Right.
And so on Thursday I said to Steve, let's just keep our eyes out. Let's just pretend that we're a vintage collector who has $1,000. Okay? So say you don't buy a nice TV, right? Say you just decided that you love our figure of the week more than anything.
Anything.
The Death Star droid.
Yes.
Even though Steve doesn't like it. We all know we're tastemakers, Steve.
That's right. I mean, every time you do an episode, you tend to really love the figure by the end.
Yeah. So if you had $1,000, just say for instance, what could you walk out of from Celebrations without haggling, without trade, without people thinking you're cool, giving you a good deal, which does happen if you're cool. It happens more for Steve than it does for me. So this is what we wound up finding on the floor. And so Steve, you have all the pictures with you?
Yeah. These are. I had
What have you been up to? Man? You've been working.
I'm working today. That's why I didn't get here till 1 o'clock. So.
Yeah, because today I'm the MC of the collecting track, so I had to run off and do this. I've been telling people to have their babies shut up. That's basically been my job.
That's sad. That's sad.
You think you wouldn't have to say it, but you know. All right. So what did we find just on the dealer floor?
On the dealer floor. Okay, so at one booth we had a couple of carded Death Star droids. There was a 21 back Star Wars Oculus that was marked at $275, and then in the same booth there was a Jedi 48 back with a num offer that was $60.
And I get the sense that from how we were talking, we probably could have got the Death Star easily 50,
Probably.
and maybe could have got the Oculus down. But it's a pretty nice looking 21 back.
Yeah.
As far as like a Star Wars card, not too much, nice clean figure.
Yeah, and what's great is for comparison, Michael did actually find the same figure online that sold, and that one sold for, let's see, that one sold for $192, so it's a little bit less on eBay, but yeah, so there's your comparison.
A lot less, huh?
Yeah, a lot less. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we got a couple more things like that. This was another eBay one that was a U90 for $210, yet here at the convention there was one with a nice advertisement with an arrow AFA graded U85 that was for $100. So I guess it's a big jump for the 5 points there.
But this is something, and you guys know more about AFA than we do, that's cool, but like, I believe Death Star droid is the hardest figure to find
Right.
in good condition.
Because of the black paint.
The black and metallic paint. So I think that from what I know, it's really hard to get Death Star droids on beater cards because so many people want the AFA U90. That's sort of one of the holy grails of the U-graded collectors.
Yeah.
Because you just can't find it in good condition.
Yeah. And it's funny, actually, I meant to mention this. Michael made a note that for the one that he found, the seller actually mentioned in the auction, please consider this piece instead of buying a carded figure to open. He was like, it was a total switchover. It's like, for any you collectors, consider this and save a carded figure.
Yeah, but he already destroyed it.
See, I don't know if it's him trying to redeem himself or just trying to get people to buy his figure. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
It was interesting to read that in the auction, but anyway,
It would be like if you had like ads at McDonald's, you know, like, as you leave, saying like, make a healthy choice next time.
yes,
Eat somewhere else.
Right. But yeah, a couple other things that were at the dealer hall. We don't have pictures of them yet, but we got a 20-back Palatoy card back that was for $20.
So that's pretty sweet. It's really rare to find Palatoy card backs. It's in good condition. And it was funny because I was asking the guy who was selling it. It was Graham, I think. Yeah, it's Graham.
Okay.
And like I had to keep telling him like, I really don't want to buy it. Pretend like you have no idea who I am and just what's your price. But I think he thought like, so he was like, really trying to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah.
It's this kind of funny thing like, how much is that thing I'm not going to buy?
Right. Yeah. And also there was, I don't have a picture of this, there was a 21B AFA 85 for $650. And that was, that had us sold. It was just in a display case.
Right. That was over at Jordan's booth.
Yeah, that's right. It was at Jordan's booth.
So he tends to sell at a slight premium because he has a lot of higher graded stuff.
Right.
And he has a lot of people who don't mind spending that kind of money.
True.
Helps.
And then we also have the Star Tot, which I think at this point is still priceless. Has that one come out yet? The Death Star Droid Star Tot?
No.
Right now.
Really?
Awesome.
What if that was intentional?
Could be.
Does anyone know? Have any sold on eBay yet? Do we know what the Star Tots are going for as of Saturday?
About 25, I think, 25
25 to 30?
25 to 30 apiece?
Two I've seen as high as 45.
And two have sold as high as 45. Wow.
That's crazy.
Full set.
Okay, well that's before it can actually exist.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's cool.
Cool.
All right, so we find out they're about $30.
Let's see, so as far as other stuff, Sean, who made these great It's Not For Sale Francis pins, we actually have a couple extra here. For anyone that's interested in have one. It's one of the most exciting pins that I've seen. It's just like, it's in the Kenner font. It's that excellent moment that I think we've all had, so.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We haven't, I don't know if you should do trivia. Okay, what is Steve's real middle name?
B.
Hey, Brian.
Brock, do you even know? Yeah, I
have a hard time
I don't know
myself.
It's like Besturdenferdige.
It's close, man. You're on the right track.
What is it?
Brady.
Bragi. So you get a pin, Steve.
Oh, thank you.
Anyways, yeah, there have been so many great giveaway pins, and the fact that we inspired a pin, that's
Yeah, I guess just reminded me, we don't have a picture of it, but there was another inspired pin from Johan about the Asian security guard.
Yeah, do I have that here? Yeah, we'll have to
Probably
post a
do.
picture of that.
Yeah.
He made those very, very limitedly, and I can't even see it.
Zoom out your bird.
Oh yeah, here it is.
You got it?
Yep, so he made a white Bespin guard, but he knew that we were going to complain about calling it the white Bespin guard.
Yep.
So he calls it C6 KISS ASSIAN guard. And it reads, Bespin guards always listen to Sky and Steve's great SWCA podcast, the Chive Cast. Wampa Wampa. And then he made fun of the way I pronounced 3 crowns in German. Tre Krona. So we've been having fun with the folks from Sweden.
Yes, they are an interesting bunch.
Yep. And they make lots of cool stuff.
Yeah,
So,
a ton of it.
yeah.
And then just as a reminder, we do have a few more of the collector coins.
But we probably won't by the time
We might not by the time that anyone else not here is listening.
Yeah, so
Anyway.
thanks, Steve. I'll have to edit that out.
Yeah, that's all right.
Or I won't
More work for you.
I'll seem like a jerk.
I guess we could do an unloved item of the month. We'll get a picture of this later.
Well, but before we do, Steve,
Yeah.
let's talk about one thing, is that someone was talking to us, we had like a big dinner last night at this Cuban restaurant. There's what, 60 people?
Something at least like that.
It was crazy,
Yeah.
some good desserts. Food was good. The steak was a little rubbery. Wasn't it?
A little rubbery.
Yeah, the food was good. I said, it's still a little rubbery anyways. But someone was talking about, where does Space Freaks come from?
Right.
And I realized that this is probably the first unloved item. It was before we actually named it.
Actually had that, yeah.
And in case you haven't listened to the first 5 episodes in a while, it comes from this amazing bubble bath that Duncan Jenkins discovered from England. And it has text that was clearly written by somebody who just was having fun. So every once in a while we need to do another dramatic recreation of the back of the bubble bath. C-3PO thinks that anyone who doesn't luxuriate in his galactic bubbles is a space freak. So get it together and dive into his froth of far-out bone for a fun fantasy. Just pour 1 capful under the force of your taps. Carefully made in Great Britain.
Carefully.
That is the origin of space freaks. And the origin of the
that's truly that's the origin right there. This time we had a couple. We'll do the next one next time. But Jared, who he sent me a text message this morning that he had found these stickers from Taiwan from Return of the Jedi, and one happened to have a B-wing in there. It's actually upside down in the sticker package, kind of in action, but it's. The logo just says Happy Stickers. It's got a bunny and it looks like Bambi and another deer. And they're chasing after a little beach ball or something like that. But if you look at it from far, it looks like it says Happy Steokers. The C is not really clear to see.
Is that your middle name, Steve? Oh, no, it's Beokers, sorry.
Yeah, there we go. But it's got some great colors. Jabba does not have a tail, and he's kind of crimped over on his side. I'm not really sure. It looks like he had some 3POs actually. But it's got some really funky colors, and it's got Akbar in there, which is another thing I had to have. But
well, this is cool, Steve. We can actually pass it around to our audience.
Yeah.
So you get to hold an unloved item in your hand as we look at it. Vader's got a purple cape.
Yep.
Akbar's got an orange jumpsuit.
Lando's got hot pink skin.
Cats and dogs playing together.
Yes.
But so we're doing, we're really off the fly here.
Yeah.
What about a nugget from the archives?
That's a good question.
You want to talk about the Steve nugget from the archive? Or you're not okay to talk about that?
We can talk about it.
Brock, is it okay to talk about Steve's nugget from the archive? Steve's nugget from the archive? Can we talk about what Steve picked up recently?
Oh yeah.
We can?
Yeah, I actually have the blessing from the Imperial Dignitary himself.
So this is really exciting, everybody.
Yeah.
If you want to see a happy collector, just look to the right of me. Or if you're listening, just listen to the guy who's not me.
Right. Well, yeah, a couple months ago, or actually a couple years ago, I had contacted Gus about the Power of the Force viewing sample from the Toy Fair catalog.
Right.
And,
So the Toy Fair catalog, right, it came out, and how do you explain it? You can explain the Toy Fair catalog really well. So it was given away at the Toy Fair, toy exhibitions, and showed pictures of the toys.
Right.
And usually the toys were prototypes because they hadn't actually, gone to production, right?
Right, they're hand-done mock-ups.
And these catalogs are highly sought after by collectors, and they've got all these cool images of things you don't normally see.
Right.
And the Power of the Force one is really well known because it shows the unproduced items.
Right. Along with all the regular stuff. And in all that regular stuff is a B-wing pilot.
But it's not a regular B-wing.
It's not a regular B-wing pilot. It's hand glued onto a Power of the Force proof card. And
Wait, that's a proof card?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You just showed me the picture on your phone, and you're like, look at this.
You might have been a little hazy too.
Yeah. It might have been a little pasties.
But hey, and I was super excited when a couple months ago he said, I know you really are interested in this, and I couldn't believe that it would actually happen. But now it's in the B-wing, laying flat, and I'm super stoked. It's gonna be even more exciting.
Wait, see, what if you named your collection the Bjornist Wing?
You try out, maybe.
Right? That way people would remember your name if you named your collection after your middle name.
I don't think so.
Up or down vote, everybody. Should you call it the B-Wing or the Bjornist Wing?
Literally.
How do you say it again?
I think I wanted to stick with the alternate. I like that. That sounds nicer than
Bjornist Wing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's Finnish, right?
Icelandic. Yeah.
I apologize to all the Scandinavians.
Hey, we gotta hit that Nordic panel. It's the last one.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
I'm actually going to be on airplanes.
Ah, you are. That's right.
It's the first one I've ever had to leave early, but I teach on Monday, and the one thing you can't do as a college professor is miss the first day, because when you
hand out syllabi as your students get to know you. I'm in charge of like this freshman orientation class.
Yeah.
So they'll show up and be like, great.
You deal with all the troublemakers.
Nobody cares about me. I gotta go home to mommy. So I wound up having to change my ticket.
Well, I'm gonna report on it for you.
Awesome, sounds good. So what should we do now, Steve? Should we turn the microphones around?
If we have time, how much time we got?
25 minutes?
Awesome.
All right, so who would like to talk about something cool or interesting they picked up or they saw at the convention?
Come on.
All right, how about Jason? Okay, so I saw you talking to Graham. So there was this cool moment. Can you talk about the proof cards? All right, come on
down.
All right, so we used to have 3 microphones up here.
Empire 45 back, and 80 revenge proof, and Return of the Jedi 65 8 back.
Right. And he also had like a tri-load. Was that just a card back?
Yeah, 2 different tri-load card backs, and one of them really nice condition. It seemed like the collector at the time had very nicely cut the bubble off the card and just displayed the card back. And the second one, not as nice condition, but on the back, and actually James Gallagher pointed this out to me, is the white assortment sticker. Personally speaking, I've never seen that before, and I went back to Graham. Have you seen this? We're not sure. What we're kind of thinking of is probably wherever they were sent to retail in the different countries, that they were just assortment stickers on the card back and put on the shelf. So we're thinking of a ton.
So then, how did you feel seeing all those? Did you have any of those? Did you have none of those? What was it like?
To be honest, very, very good.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, I've owned some of those before, but in circumstances, sold them, and of course, I wanted them back. Personally speaking, I would just love to take a big wad of cash and throw it down and walk away with them. Unfortunately, it did not work out that way.
Right. Yeah, well, it was cool. Like there was even this Chewy thing I didn't have, but I didn't have any cash. But another Chewbacca collector got it, so that's good. But so did you wind up walking away with any?
Yes, actually, I walked away with the Revenge Proof and Return of the Jedi. Excuse me, Price Flex back 21 back and 45 back went to Jeff at Guest Museum. Went to his massive collection, which kind of somewhere in there. And the Return of the Jedi, I'm not sure if he could have sold that or not.
Yeah, that was a nice piece, but I think people started used to the new high prices for Return of the Jedi proofs. Is that right? Yes, Derek? Yeah. All right, well, cool. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, thanks, Jason.
Anyone else? No?
I wasn't there, but I heard there was a supposed find of Chewbacca sitting late.
Oh, right. Yeah, so
Give me closure on
I
that.
went home to go to bed, but then I heard there was a big ruckus.
okay, so Andy's bringing up the point here that there was talk about Chewbacca's family being at Celebration. And now, of course, Chewbacca and his wife cut my hair. Real Chewbacca's family. So there are in existence mock-up toys that never made it to production from the holiday special, and they're of Chewbacca, Lumpy, Itchy, and Mala, which are 3 of the most underrated characters in the Star Wars universe. But anyways, and these are just beautiful, and they belong to a very well-known couple who has, an amazing collection of prototypes. And so there's this young-looking dude, and he just had them. And actually, if you went to the prop panel today, they actually talked to him because he made a massive find of all of the kooky outfits from the holiday special.
Really?
So whenever the perverted old Wookiee is staring at the dancers, he has those dancers. And whenever the perverted young Wookiee is watching the little carnival guys, he has those things. He has Art Carney's clothes.
Huh.
He has whoever was doing the cooking. Who did the cooking show?
Harvey.
Harvey Korman, that's right, yep. So he had all of these real items, and as far as I can tell, they were real. But then he also said he had these prototype of Chewbacca's family. I never even actually got to look at them. I talked around, and people who seem to know seem to think it was unlikely.
Right.
But it's one of those stranger things have happened kind of things.
Well, it's like last time there was that crazy display that the random guy in the audience
That's
brought.
right.
That's what it kind of reminded me of. I didn't know what happened, but
What do you mean you don't know what happened?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about the Chewbacca's this time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We can't put that on the show, Steve.
No, I'm talking about the Chewbacca this go around.
Be good if you listen to it. Actually, one of my favorite conversations was with John Peck, who was telling us how he listens to our show more than once. So
Yep.
that was very interesting. The idea of someone voluntarily listening to me talk more than once.
Yeah, Yehuda actually said the same thing.
Did he?
Yeah, several times.
So should we like put secret messages for people?
I don't know, subliminal messages.
I don't think that works.
I don't think so.
I think my brain's fried.
Anything else?
We're going to talk about baseball if you guys listen. How about no, nothing interesting?
I got a small story.
All right, bring it
Come on
on.
up, Andy.
That's what you like, confidence. We were going to have some international folks come by, but they're not here. So what are you going to do? Unless the Canadians here.
Hi, I'm Andy Anderson.
Hi, Andy Anderson.
Hi, Andy.
Hey,
Wampa Wampa, Andy.
Wampa wampa.
Wampa Wampa. So I arrived Wednesday about noon. Had a little too much to drink. Went to the room, slept it off, woke up again before round 2. Joe knocks on the door, Joe Iglesias, as y'all know, the bootleg king.
That's right.
And showed me something I'd never seen before, the resonators. And if you haven't heard of a resonator, apparently they were late 80s, early 90s bootleg resin, poor quality figures, and it had the Java Dancer, the rather large one. Gargan. And so apparently this line included all the unproduced figures like Slave Leia, Ceremonial Luke, Gargan, is that her name?
Yeah, interesting.
Uncle Owen. Help me out, Trevor.
There's Ceremonial Luke. There's a B-Wing
Oh,
pilot.
I thought it was a Y-Wing pilot.
I think it's a B-Wing.
B-Wing. Oh.
Is it Kieran pilot?
Oh, yeah. All right. Going to the,
It's not vintage. I don't want it.
so I had to pick up the Gargan. Never even heard of it before. Had to have it, so I got it. And then at the room sales, I'm sitting there and I hear the word resonator. And I look up and David Gall has a box full of resonators. And one of them is carded. And had a real cool header card, says resonator with a little space scene. So I got the Uncle Owen to go along with the Gargan.
Nice.
So it's something I never knew existed, never heard of before. I got 2 of them within 2 days, and so it's kind of a cool find, you know, like bootlegs. So pretty neat.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the celebration because there's so much information you just get pelted with.
Yeah.
And that happened a lot where you'd be like, I've never heard of that before. Yes, I would like one. I now have one. May I have another? You know, I should probably complete the set. So like you start, that happened with Ron's great bootleg panel from a couple years ago. He showed the belt that says "Let the Force be with you."
Oh, right.
And the second I saw it, you know, I'm crazy about language. Actually, someone asked me at the party, like, why do you always talk about language? But I saw the "Let the Force be with you" belt buckle, and I was like, that is absolutely, I have to get that.
Right on.
And about 8 hours later, I was at Todd Chamberlain's booth, and I was panning through and got one for $20.
Excellent.
That was just great. And I also love the idea that you have Gargan and Uncle Owen. I mean, presumably it gets cold. Real cold out Junlin wastes, you know. We don't know what happens after hours, you know. Just saying. If anyone wants to do like a little spin-off story, you know, like after on Crew, you know, maybe it's attacked by some raiders or whatever.
I have to get Bickmore on that. They can hang out with Spirit of R5.
Yeah. It could be like a total Bickmore comic book style thing. You know? The remarriage of Uncle Owen. Luke comes home. So like, do I call you Mom? All right, see. Awesome. Any other stories? John, you're looking confused.
No. Just in a daze.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty exciting. I'd say the start out's been well received.
It seems like it, yeah.
The crowd has been more polite than they were in the past.
Were they?
Yeah,
That's
they,
good.
They don't get up, you know, halfway through and try and get stuff.
Trying to get their stuff.
You hear a little bit less of like, oh, I had to sit through this terrible thing. Oh my God, I almost learned something. Oh, these guys are jerks. Awesome. Well, I think it's okay. Let's see. This is going to make most of our audience very happy.
Okay.
Do you know what the baseball update is?
Oh,
There's no baseball update.
Nothing.
We don't have internet here.
No.
I haven't looked at the scores in like 5 days.
me neither.
Long live celebration, space freaks. You don't have to hear us talk about baseball.
Never.
No cricket update.
Not at all, not even cricket. All right, so let's how about this? How about I say wampa wampa, they say wampa wampa, you say adios, they say adios. That'd be cool, right?
All right, sounds good.
All right. Wampa wampa.
Wampa wampa.
Adios.
Adios.